There was a man from the faraway land of England who came to the soil of the Native Americans in the 1630s and joined the original settlers and called it the New England. These newcomers established a puritanical society who believed that those who do not believe in God are servants of Satan. A magistrate had put many people who were accused to be witches into death. He is William Hawthorne, passed on to his son the legacy of strict Puritanism. John Hawthorne, one of the judges that presided the Salem witch trials in 1692, killed 20 men and women. The family's riches had seemed to stop after their death. It seemed like the family name has been cursed, and it all passed down to their grandson, Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Nathaniel Hawthorne? Who is Nathaniel Hawthorne? Nathaniel Hawthorne? Nathaniel Hawthorne?
Nathaniel Hawthorne?
Nathaniel ano? Huh? Oh! Who? Who's that?
Nathaniel Hawthorne was born on July 4, 1804. 1800s. Nathaniel Hawthorne was born on July 4, 1804. 1804. Nathaniel Hawthorne was one of my favorite writers. The fact that he is a Puritan. So in his book, Scarlet Letter, critic ako doon. Kasi ang presentation ni Nathaniel Hawthorne, against siya sa witch trial, against siya sa kung ano-ano ginagawa na society. He is living in theocracy. Kasi ang mga Puritan dati, galing sila sa England. So around 1600, ang mga tao noon, syempre nasa height of morality. Look on the King James Bible. Ang King James Bible, it was written 1611. So it means to say, yun yung peak ng morality. Okay, doon kasi nasulat 1611, authorized version 1611 by King James. So from that, ang mga tao noon talagang sobrang devoted sila kay God. Lahat kung ano yung sinabi ng Bible, gagawin nila. Siyempre, ang sabi ng Bible, rich, ang mga rich, di ba? Ang mga ganyan, they are really condemned. They will go to hell. Ganyan. So, ang mga Puritan talaga, they believe on theocracy. When say theocracy, theo means God, crazy means government. So, they believe on God's government. God's government. Kaya, naniniwala sila na directly, they are governed by God. So, whatever the Bible mentions, ang mangyayari, talagang against all odds, walang palag ang mga tao. Ngayon, pagdating ni Nathaniel Hawthorne, parang kinakahiyan na kung anong ginagawa ng ancestor nila. So, para maalis yung kahihiyan na ginawa ng ancestor nila kasi they condemn people, then they are very pure, kasi puritan, pure, from the word pure. Gusto na i-purge yung mga tao to have this kind of life. Pero sa kanya, pagdating sa kanya, ayaw niya yun. Rights. Siyempre yung rights ng tao, everyone has rights, parang nasasabi sa kanya. So, para maalis yung ascribe sa kanyang mga ancestors na ganito sila, they are condemned people. Imagine na ngayon ng Latin double ang kanyang pangalan na Hawthorne. Okay, so yun. Sa kanila Hawthorne, yung family nila is H-A-T, H-O-R-N-E. Ano yung pangalan si John Hawthorne. Parang hindi siya kabilang doon sa kanilang ancestors.
One of the Salem sailors described Nathaniel's father as the sternest man that ever walked a deck. After his father's death, her mother moved them into her parents' place, few blocks from their home. But her mother, Elizabeth Manning Hawthorne, once a happy wife, began to shut herself up in a room that made the coolest intercourse between her and her Nathaniel. Hawthorne used to call their home the Castle Dismal. In 1816, Nathaniel was recovering from a serious foot injury from playing stickball over a year ago, and so the family sent him to his Uncle Manning's home in Maine. They believed he would regain his health there better with his uncle. Nathaniel enjoyed his boyhood in Maine, hunting, skating, fishing, and swimming. He also read books from his uncle. He likes the novels of Sir Walter Scott, Shakespeare, and the Bible. At 16, Uncle Robert Manning sent him to college. In a letter to his mother dated March 13, 1821, I have not yet included what profession I shall have. Being a minister is of course out of the question. I should not think that even you could desire me to choose a dull way of life. Oh no, mother, I was not born to vegetate forever in one place. Oh, that I was rich enough to live without a profession. What do you think of me becoming an author, and relying for support upon my pen? I think the illegibility of my handwriting is very author-like. But authors are always poor devils, and therefore Satan may take them away. Hawthorne went to Bowdoin College and befriended the soon-to-be president Franklin Pierce and Horatio Bridge, his two lifelong friends. But though an avid reader, he does not have much interest at school and was an average student graduated at 1825. After graduation, he went back to Salem and mastered writing, reading, and which he preferred as his dismal third-floor chamber. In 1828, he published Fanshawe with his own expense. It is about college days romance, but it failed. He burned every copy he found. In his journal years after he wrote, "When we see how little we can express, it is a wonder that anyone ever takes up a pen a second time." But after that failure, he still tried to write short stories anonymously, which he submits in the Token magazine in Boston. It includes The Wives of the Dead, Roger Malvin's Burial, Major Molyneux's The Gentle Boy, and The Young Goodman Brown in 1835, which most reviewers think could be the greatest tale of witchcraft ever written.
Young Goodman Brown is a literary piece written by Nathaniel Hawthorne. The story tackles about the fate of human beings, and because his wife, Young Goodman Brown's wife, was named Faith, symbolizing the fate of humans. And also, the events in the story were also inspired by the events that have taken place in Nathaniel Hawthorne's life. For example, Young Goodman Brown was left behind by his wife, Faith, and in the event of Nathaniel Hawthorne's life, he was also left behind by his mother due to sickness.
But as S.G. Goodrich, the publisher of the Token magazine, discouraged him, thinking that his writings are just as good as their short stories in their magazine. And so young Hawthorne became insecure. But his friend Horatio Bridge keeps on encouraging him to write a book again, and he secretly paid the publication of Twice Told Tales. It gives favorable reviews even in London, but hardly got any money. And even though Hawthorne is painfully shy, Hawthorne was so handsome. Back in Salem, he was struck by the beauty of Sophia Peabody, a painter and artist in Salem, and started going out. The couple became secretly engaged during late 1838. Hawthorne deeply wanted to be married, took a job at Boston Custom House as a measurer in 1839. In 1841, Hawthorne quits the Custom House and became a partner of the Transcendentalist Commune Brook Farm, which gave him a little profit enough to marry Sophia Peabody. On July 9, 1842, they got their first baby, Una. and soon the second child, Julian. The family moved to Concord in an old manse which they rented from R.W. Emerson or Ralph Waldo Emerson and neighbors with Henry David Thoreau, Margaret Fuller, and other transcendentalists in their times. Because of mounting dips, Hawthorne forced to return in Castle Dismal. He became a surveyor of the Salem Custom House in April 1846 and had a steady income. At June 1847, Hawthorne was dismissed in Custom House in deceiving charges due to political shake-up. However, Sophia Peabody was able to save money and encourage her husband to write. But bitter about losing his job, declares, "I detest this town so much that I hate to go out in the streets or to the people see me." It became worse when a month after her mother died, he falls into a deep depression, and so he writes the Scarlet Letter. Perhaps because of its scandalous themes of adultery, it was a hit to the public. The Scarlet Letter had a long introductory essay, which gives an autobiographical information to the author. It describes the artistic impulse and the commercial environment. It defines the romance novel and authenticates the basis of the novel, that he had discovered in the Salem Custom House the faded Scarlet A and historical manuscript on which the novel is based.
Setting ng Scarlet Letter is around 1600. Okay? Kasi mapapansin mo doon, sa Nathaniel, mapapansin mo doon, na yung pangyayari ng sa novel ng Scarlet Letter is kung ano yung pagdating nila sa New England. Okay? Kasi ang America, may 13 first colonies doon. Ang first is sa Massachusetts. Yun yung establish nila. So galing sila sa England. Kasi ang first settlers naman talaga doon mga native Indians. So, mapapansin mo lahat doon sa kwento niya sa famous Scarlet Letter, lahat ng mga pangyayari doon sa kung paano nagsimula ang Amerika. Mapapansin mo doon. Kaya mapapansin mo din doon kung gaano ang mga taga-England ay nag-struggle pagdating sa Amerika. Sa New England. Ang tawag kasi nila doon New England. From England, punta sila sa New England. So, maraming namatay sa gutom, maraming namatay sa winter, maraming namatay sa sakit, yun. So, namatay na age of 4. His mother became only overprotective and pushed him toward relatively isolated pursuits. Hawthorne's childhood led him shy and bookish, which molded his life as a writer. Ayun yun. Kaya nga, syempre, kung ano yung mga naranasan niya noon, at hindi naman siya, syempre, overprotective din natin, hindi naman masyadong sabihin natin, napapangaralan siya, pero hindi siya nakiki-isolate. Kung ano yung nakikita niya lang, sa kanya lang yun. Kaya, he put it into writing. Kaya, very critic siya talaga kung ano yung nangyayari.
But 9 years before he took his custom house position, he published Endicott and the Red Cross, which described a woman who has forced to wear a letter A on her breast, like Hester Prynne. That is why many have said that the letter was found in the attic of their home. Reviewers said that this technique serves as a way of giving his story an air of historic truth. Scarlet Letter, who brings the fame to Hawthorne, was followed by another success, The House of the Seven Gables. In 1851, Hawthorne's third child, Rose, was born. In 1852, reminiscing the Brook Farm, he published The Blithedale Romance. The family moved in Concord out of Boston and settled in Brunson Alcott's place, the father of Louisa May Alcott. His friend Franklin Pierce became president in 1853 and appointed Hawthorne as the U.S. consul to England. The job was lucrative and also prestigious, but Nathaniel spent more of his income in assisting stranded Americans in the battered port. But when Pierce loses her re-election in 1857, Hawthorne was also lose his job. Hawthorne decided to take his family a tour in Europe, and in Italy the couple gained another friends, Elizabeth and Robert Browning. Out of the Italian culture and medieval alchemy, Hawthorne was inspired to write The Marble Faun, which was published in 1860 back in the US. In 1863, his health started to fail and wrote in a non-fiction account of his time in Europe. Our Old Home was published, and it was the last. Sophia in 1864 urged her husband to travel south, thinking it would refresh him up. He had a vacation with Franklin Pierce up north. The supposed to be healing vacation of Hawthorne brought him to sleep forever. He died in his sleep in Plymouth, New Hampshire on May 19. For 7 years, Sophia edited her husband's journal and soon joined him in the eternal peace. Hawthorne, struggling with the need to exercise his artistic talent and the reality of supporting a family, who was haunted by his past and couldn't find any permanent rest anywhere. Hawthorne, who had been seeking his fame for almost all of his life, is like a blotted pen. Sometimes it pours a lot, and sometimes it's not. One who would never make a writer ever satisfied.